energy for milk production.
Yes.
It mobilizes body fats and increases their appetite.
Yes. Somebody else? For people in this class who have a concern for the environment, some of those products actually, once we use them, it means that for the overall milk we need from these animals, we don't need to have so many animals. So that increased productivity from each one cow, about 2,000 plus pounds from each one cow, means totally in the US, we don't have to have millions of dairy cows. We can only have a smaller number because their productivity is higher per unit cow. That is another way of looking at it. So it's going to be saving our resources. It's good for the environment. People who are against animal agriculture better think twice about some of these things. We need food to survive, right? But how do you produce it makes a big difference. Somebody was trying to argue in one class I had before that we should stop animal agriculture because they are contributing to global warming. If you look at the contribution of animals to global warming, those noxious gases, it is really small. If you want to be conscious about that, then stop driving your car because the main source of pollution is from cars. So if you are really very, very concerned about the environment, then there are things we need to do and change. All right. Number 5. This is a number. I think we stayed number 5 for a long time here. And what he's talking about here is how, if you look at a chart, for example, and look at the information on it, can you actually explain somebody from it, what that implies? The assignments I gave you, the term assignment, the feeding trial, whoever it's the students who are in lab, all those who are really trying to show you how do you start information to make decisions that make sense to producers, even to yourself. I was really surprised that a student did not turn in the term, the feeding, calf feeding assignment because we are caught. I cannot even explain it. How can you get a 0 in something like that? Really? So, and you had the assignment for almost 2 months. You have had it. All right. So, note the nutrient composition of the milk, and I showed you some tables. Remember, the tables were organized in such a way that you saw the animal species, the amount of fat in there in that milk. And then from the fats, there's the solids, not fat component on that table. And the solids, not fat, includes proteins, mainly casein. All right. There will be other organic groups in there. And there are other minerals like calcium, phosphorus, other vitamins, and so forth. Those are non-fat solids that are found within milk when you consume the milk. All right. Any questions? Otherwise, we have passed time here a little bit.
Professor Gakara, did we have nutrient requirement information for swine?
We did. Look at the charts. When you look at the charts, I discussed swine, then came to poultry.
Okay, so the ones like in the handouts that you have on Blackboard?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I did tell you that, for the swine, and I told the unique thing with the swine one, it is the only one that has reported the information on as fed basis. Remember, I made that distinction there? Otherwise, everyone else still provided information on dry matter basis. But for swine, for some reason, the revised nutrient requirements for swine book, which I have in my office, they went for as fed. Why? Because most of the feeds for swine have a very similar dry matter content in them, about 90-91%. So they didn't really want to, the swine industry is kind of just their own character there. So that's the difference in that publication when you look at it compared to other species. But the information, the way you read it, the way you interpret it is actually the same. What we discussed for poultry at the end actually can apply very well, especially broilers, can apply very well for swine, because the swine, the way we fatten swine or the way we finish swine is in a very similar fashion as we do for broilers. The feed has a very high energy density in it. For pigs, they grow really fast. They will be harvested when they're about 6 months of age, they are ready to go. They're about 225 pounds and higher, but they're already finished. So that's the, I didn't want to go too much into there because I mean, there are some differences, but they're not totally very different when you look at the typical livestock we discussed. And I didn't discuss too much about the horses either. You remember that? I didn't say